What is up, everyone? This is Omegabalmung here with, of course, another comic book pickups of the week. And of course, it's been a while since I've done one. Like I said, I've been a little bit busy, but now I'm trying to try to get into a schedule of doing things now. So it should be a little bit better. But I did have a lot of comic books I wanted to talk about, but I decided to cut it short. You know, if I didn't make one for last week or the week before, I'll leave those out for maybe never. So I'm going to start with this week's comic books of pickups of the week. This newly released comic books that I've been able to pick up. I'm not going to talk about every one of them. Of course, my thing is always, I'll pick the 3 top books that, I really enjoyed this week, and I'll talk about it. And then I'm just going to show off a lot of the other books that, I was able to pick up. So I'm able to kind of downsize my pickups of the week a little bit to a smaller form, because I just feel like it's easier that way to get things going. So I don't have all the books, and if I wanted to, I'd probably go out, if I get some recommendation for books that I missed that I need that were good, so I can go and buy it and read it and maybe talk about it. But so far, these are the books that I'm able to get this week. And of course, it's going to be an ongoing thing. So hopefully, you guys enjoy this. But anyways, first off, I'm going to go talk about the books that I picked up and maybe a little bit about it. First off is Superman, which is the Action Comics issue 39, which is also a cover from the Harley Quinn cover. She's going to have a bit of some of the covers. I think it's still going for certain books. I don't know if it's for all the books or not, but it should be. I'm pretty sure it is. Just like how the Flash had his with the 75th anniversary Flash. He had he had a lot of covers where he was in front of it. This one's probably going to be the same thing. I think it should be close to being done. So is the Flash one, I think so. So we'll see. Actually, hers might be just be starting. So I don't know. I can't remember yet, but I remember seeing a few for next week that they're going to be out. So anyways, this is Action Comics 39. I think this one really just summons it pretty much just ends the arc of what was happening in the few issues of Action Comics. I'm not going to specify anything, but I think this is the end to it. I didn't really like it too much, so we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully they get a little bit better down the road. So next up is Angela, Asgard Assassin issue 3, and I love this cover for this book. I think it looks freaking phenomenal. So and of course, it's just like an ongoing series from Marvel with Angela, who's here, I guess, and now we're getting deeper into the book. So, well, hopefully everything works out for Angela, and you see some pretty cool scenes. I think the drawing here is fantastic. I do love how everything is. So it's a book that I'll probably come back, probably not all the time, but maybe in and out kind of deal. So next is Cluster. Issue 1 from Boom Studios. This one's a little weird. You see the lady here. She is pretty much, she has done something, and then now she's in prison. But in prison terms, they get sent up to fight a war, I guess. So they're in like prison kind of, but they're also fighting wars. It's kind of weird, but it's an okay book. I might have to give it another shot to see how it works out for me. So it is what it is. So next up is Nameless from, where's this from? Image Comics. Image Comics usually has pretty good books. Mostly a lot of their newer books. I really enjoy going through Image Comics. I didn't really enjoy this one too much, maybe because I kind of just skimmed through it real quick. I didn't really go in depth with the book. So it is by Grant Morrison, so it's. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of his stuff. But yeah, it's about space things. So like I said, I didn't really get into it too much. So we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'll have to give it another shot and see if that works. Next up is, of course, the last book that I'm going to be talking about, which is Going to be, of course, Spawn issue 250. It's a big book. It's a pretty expensive book too. It's I want to say, let's see, it was $5.99. It's a pretty big and expensive book, but it goes through. I guess haven't really read any of the Spawn issues. I mean, I do have 1 through 20 something, but I haven't really read anything from there on. So I don't know what the heck is going on. But supposedly Spawn is back. He's died and now he's back, resurrected, of course. So you do see him at the end of it, and that's pretty sucky. But it kind of pulls everything together, I guess. Whoever reads Spawn would probably be excited for this. I did come out with like 4 or 5 different covers. I kind of just picked one. I probably should have picked a different one. I don't remember who was the artist for that one, but I should have probably picked that one. The cover for that one looks a little bit better than this one. But I do like the fact that Spawn is pretty cool with his little, I don't know, energy power there. So Spawn has been a weird character for me. I kind of in and out kind of deal for Spawn. He's cool looking. I like his powers, but I can never really get into the comics. I did like the movie though, and I'm probably the only one that I was watching it the other day. I'm like, damn, this movie looks horrible, but it was awesome back then when it first came out. I really enjoyed it as a kid. Now it's like, but that's pretty much like all movies. But anyways, let's talk about 3. As you've probably seen it already. I just put it up there. The 3 comic books that I would recommend this week. Just like I said, it's just my recommendation. You may not like it, but for me, these are the coolest. These are to me the books that I really enjoyed reading of this week. So first off is Superman 38. And of course, we have John Romita Jr. doing the drawings for this. We do get a look at his new suit, which is similar just to his 52 suit, but I think now it doesn't look as metallic or like an armor. I think it's just more like his old suit, just with all the lines. I think that's probably pretty much what I saw from that. I don't remember how it looks like. Maybe we'll take a look at it. Yeah, it's similar. Kind of. It looks a little bit different. Like I said, it doesn't look armor based. It looks more just like cloth. So kind of going back to normal Superman cloth. Maybe not. But anyways, you get to see his new power that he shows off just for like a little bit. So we don't really see what happens. It's just pretty much him. With all what Superman's been doing, gathering up all this energy from the sun, he's able to release it out. So I'm guessing it's not like a thing he could do like all the time. Maybe not. It could just be like once he gathers a certain amount of energy, he can release it. So we'll see how that power plays out. But you do see them fight against Ulysses, and of course he wins. Just because with that power, so you do see a little bit, and then at the end, he does tell who he is to somebody, so he does give away his identity. But like I say, this is a cool book. I like the Superman, this Superman, ever since 36, 35, maybe even before that, 32, whatever. Whenever this new with John Romita and who is it? John's. I don't remember what's his first name, but when they took over, I think it's got a little bit better. I like it. Next up is from Dark Horse Comics, issue number 2. Lady Killer issue number 2. I did really enjoy the first one, and then of course this one has gotten a little bit cooler. You get to see a little bit of what she does. So she's probably like an assassin or some kind of agent of somebody. We don't know yet, and she kind of pretty much just lives a daily life, and then when she needs to go do what she has to do for her job, that's what you see that sense into in the book here. So you see her talk to her husband. He's like, "Oh yeah, I got to go help my sister out with something," because she's given a job to do, and you do see a little bit of it because as she puts it in all her grocery bags, and then her kids went through and they found it. Oh, what's this? And she's like, oh my gosh! But it's her next target, and you do see that when she has to go do something, she always from what this is, she's probably like, oh, I gotta go help somebody out. And then her was like, okay, yeah, go ahead, don't worry about it. We'll see you back, Sunday. So we'll see a little bit more about what she does or who she's working for. Hopefully, we see it soon, and how that impacts her in her family life. So it's pretty cool. I like the fact that she's kind of like an agent where she's just sitting back and her life is either dealing with her family or going out there killing somebody. So it's pretty cool stuff. Next up is Miss Marvel. Of course, Miss Marvel is always going to be in my top 3. I'm a big fan of Miss Marvel. So, but in this one, it's a little bit on the lower tier. I think it does, finish the arc that she's on, which I thought it was a little bit too long. I wish they would have done it a little bit faster, but I think it do finish. What's his name again? The Collector, the Mechanic, or something like that. They do. She does defeat him, so it does wrap up the arc. But I feel like it was a little bit too long. But anyways, I'm still a big fan of Miss Marvel. Hopefully, we see a little bit more of her kookiness, in the next books that are going to be coming out. We'll see how that plays out. So. That's all we have to talk about Miss Marvel. Not much like Superman. I thought Superman 1 was a lot better, and then Lady Killer, and then Miss Marvel. So it goes 1, 2, 3. That's what I think. Next up is, which I was pretty happy about, and I only give this a quick read. Not too much. It's a pretty big because it's a book, literally. It's kind of let's see how many pages does it have, minus the. It doesn't say, but you're looking at maybe close to 100 pages. This is Earth 1 Superman. This is pretty much what happened before New 52. Maybe not before, maybe it's just another telling of the story for Superman. This is actually the third one, so this is volume 3. It pretty much just talks about. And this is the separate Superman. It's not this New 52 Superman. This is a separate Superman in a different universe. It kind of follows closely to, at least in the first 2 issues, it follows closely to the Man of Steel. How he's going out and doing all these jobs, trying to figure out what he's going to do during the his downtime. He hasn't found out what he was doing yet. So. And then in Volume 2, you get him fighting against those giant alien thingies. If you remember from the Man of Steel, it kind of looks like them when Zod sends those aliens that ships that come down and things like that. And then in this one, you see a little bit of, or not a little bit. You see Zod himself in this one, which is pretty cool. He looks a little weird. I guess he looks kind of cool. Actually, he looks cool and weird at the same time. He has a hoodie. He has a hoodie on. He's just like walking around with a hoodie on. He's as powerful as Superman. So, but like I said, it's a cool book. Maybe it's the weakest, probably one out of all 3 of them. I do think I've seen reviews for it, and I do kind of correlate with those reviews. It's a little weak, but the action in there is pretty awesome. Him fighting against Zod. So, anyways, that is pretty much it for this week. I'm trying not to get a little bit over my little time here. I want to make it a little bit shorter, but I did go a little bit further than I wanted to. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the comic books pickups of the week, and hopefully you guys go out and pick up some comic books. Read books. They are fun. Support your local comic book store as usual. Anyways, I'll see everybody next week.